Naperville Central football traveled to Lyons Township for an IHSA quarterfinal, while Bennett Academy girls volleyball played for the state championship. Hello Naperville sports fans, and welcome to another episode of NSW Season 18. I'm your host, Joe Kennedy. The Red Hawks held off Frems last week, and their next task was handing Lyons Township its first loss of the year. Let's head to LaGrange and see who moves on to the football semis.
The IHSA 8A football playoffs are in quarterfinal mode, with Naperville Central being our lone area team still alive. The Red Hawks are back in the quarters for the first time since 2017, but have a tough task taking on undefeated Lyons Township. The Lions are back in this position for the second time in 3 seasons and took care of these Red Hawks in the 2022 playoffs. The opening drive for Naperville Central displays the pass, and Sebastian Hayes unloads a dime to Deshaun Williams, who makes the catch after a juggle, and he takes it to the house from 50 yards out to make it 7-0 Red Hawks. In the second quarter, Hayes says, "Hey, I'll do it again." Play fake to Aiden Clark, and the 5-1 duo connects for another touchdown. Central holds a commanding 14-0 lead. The Lions go to work with QB Don Piscotti, who throws a rainbow to an open Mac Long, and that moves the chains past midfield. A few plays later, Piscotti hands the ball off to Danny Carroll on a delayed handoff. Carroll will do the rest, sneaking through the defense, and 25 yards later, he's in for a Lions touchdown. That cuts the deficit in half, 14-7. As the half approaches, Gavin Ellison is on to attempt a 42-yard field goal and splits the uprights to extend the Red Hawks lead to 17-7 at the break. The Hawks take the ball first in the second half and convert on a huge 4th down, with Hayes finding Williams to keep the drive rolling. On 2nd and goal, Hayes plunges it in himself on the sneak, and after a drive that ate up over 7 minutes, the Red Hawks have a 24-7 lead. Back come the Lions on only their 4th possession of the game, and it looks promising with Piscotti finding Long behind the defense once again, and they are in business. Although they face 4th down, and Carroll gets stuffed by a swarm of white jerseys, and the Red Hawks take over after a turnover on downs. The Lions get the ball back, and Piscotti hopes for any magic, but Daniel Nussbaum picks him off, and that's all she wrote. For the first time since 2013, Naperville Central is moving on to the 8A semifinals after a 24-7 win over Lyons Township. The Red Hawks will host York next Saturday.
Moving sports, and from Red Hawks to Red Wings, Bennett girls volleyball made it to the state series for a 3rd straight year and the 5th across the past 6 seasons. We'll give you highlights from both games down at Illinois State to see if the 3rd time is the charm for the red and black.
Huntley has arrived at Illinois State University alongside Bennett Academy for the 4A girls volleyball state semifinals. The Red Wings are coming off a super sectional win over New Trier, while the Red Raiders are back in the state series for the first time since 2001. The Red Wings get off to a good start as Linny Tarno starts things off with a kill. Huntley is down by 2, but Izzy Winehouse jumps up for a kill of her own, but Bennett still holds a 1-point lead in the set. It's still close for both teams, and Kira O'Donnell jumps up for this monster kill, and Bennett is up by 2. BA is in action with some nice passing, and O'Donnell comes in again to deliver another kill for the Wings. The Red Wings are climbing their way up with an 11-5 score. However, Sophia Shinetti wants to make it 12-5, and she does with the kill. Huntley is trailing by 4, but then a Bennett team effort by Linny Tarno and Audrey Asleason deflect the attempt for a 15-10 lead. Ellie Sternagel serves at set point for Bennett, and she draws an ace to secure a 25-15 set 1 win for the Wings. It's tied at 4 in the second set, and O'Donnell delivers a kill to break the tie. Both teams keep tying the knot, with Sienna Robertson showing off a kill attempt, and the set is tied once again, this time at 8. Ties are a theme for both teams, but for Huntley, Jocelyn Erling activates kill mode, and the Raiders take a 1-point lead. Red Wings storm back 8 points later with Tarnow serving and the teamwork of Gabby Stasis and Morgan Asleason blocking Watson's kill attempt at the net. Tarnow serves once more for Bennett, and the serve turns into an ace, and it's a 20-12 lead for the Red Wings. Huntley is not done yet because Robertson jumps into action to display a much-needed kill, but they still trail by 4. The match point is here as Izzy Winehouse attempts for a kill, but the ball falls short of the net, resulting in match point for Bennett Academy. For a third straight year, the Red Wings are heading back to the state finals after a 2-set win over Huntley and will face Marist in the championship match on Saturday night. Another year, another state championship appearance for the Bennett Academy girls volleyball team, as the Red Wings hope this third straight trip will be third time's the charm after back-to-back runner-up finishes. Their opponent is ESCC rival Marist, who is back in the championship for the first time since 2018 as they chase for state title number 3. The Redhawks get off to a good start in the first set with Bella Bullington leaping up for the kill to make it 6-3 Marist. Audrey Asleason gives Bennett a spark with an ace, and this set is locked up at 7. Tied up again, this time at 11, but Asleason steps up on defense with a nice block to give the Red Wings the lead. From there, they pick up the pace and Brooklyn Brass displays an aggressive kill. Set point with the Red Wings in front, and the Redhawks try to keep the rally going, but they get whistled for an error, and Bennett Academy takes set 1 25-19. Redhawks show another strong start, and Maggie Kerpikis runs from the outside and gets a kill for a 4-0 Marist lead. Red Wings keep the momentum from the previous set as Asleason sets up Kira O'Donnell for the kill. Red Wings hold on to a 10-9 lead, but Marist and Savannah Weathers erase that as she gets a kill. This set stays close halfway through, and Gabby Stasis makes it closer after a nice block. However, the Redhawks open the floodgate and go on an 8-2 run as they approach set point. Weathers concludes the set with one of her 10 kills, and Marist forces a third set thanks to a 25-16 set 2 win. Both teams keep their fight in that third set and show great effort to keep the rally going. Ellie Sternagel digs, and Linny Tarnow fires that ball back, and Bennett takes a 6-5 lead. Then Marist soars back to tie the set. Elena Davidson makes a fantastic dig, and Bullington presents a kill, and the Redhawks go back in front. Red Wings take it 1 point at a time, and here is Stasis with a quick one. Marist continues to fly away, but you just can't count out those wings, so Stasis and Asleason form a wall and get another point. However, Marist is just too much to handle, and Bullington delivers the final knockout, and Marist captures their third girls volleyball state championship and fifth state trophy overall. Bennett Academy takes second for a third straight season, claiming state trophy number 10.
Every March in college basketball, there's a new set of Cinderella-style folk heroes. This past spring, Neuqua Valley grad John Poulakidas was one of these heroes and led Yale Basketball to a first-round upset. We'll have more on Poulakidas and what he's been up to since leaving Neuqua after the break.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
When it comes to interest rates, it seems the Fed only knows one direction, up. That's not fair. If you're fed up with high rates, head over to Fair Oaks Ford. You can get 0.9% APR financing for 66 months. Now that's fair. Plus, you'll get what J.D. Power called the best customer experience in the business. Fair Oaks Ford on Ogden Avenue in Naperville. You've got a friend in the car business. Shop online 24/7 at fairoaksford.com.
Neuqua Valley grad John Poulakidas gains national attention in the spring, leading Yale to a first-round upset win in the NCAA tournament. He's improved every season and currently averages over 20 points per game. We have more on Poulakidas for our latest Where Are They Now, presented by Grow Sports Psychology.
Poulakidas, nice curl with a soft touch.
Every March, the NCAA basketball tournament creates a new set of Cinderella-style folk heroes. R.J. Hunter, C.J. McCollum, and Stephen Curry became March Madness legends by leading their small schools to dramatic tournament upsets. In 2024, Neuqua Valley graduate John Poulakidas played a major part in one of those stunning Cinderella stories. He led 13-seeded Yale to a momentous win over 4-seeded Auburn.
We knew going into that game that we were going to have a chance, but the biggest thing for us was we had to believe it first. Auburn was a great team. I think at the time they were a 4 seed, but they were a consensus top 10 team in the country. So
the former Wildcats scored 28 points on 10 of 15 shooting, including 6 of 9 from three-point range. Yale beat the SEC champions 78-76, and Poulakidas' clutch step-back 3 with 2 minutes remaining gave Yale the lead, which the team never relinquished.
So we definitely went into that week of preparation with a lot of focus. But like I said, there's a lot of almost like a sense of freedom in being the underdog because, there's no pressure. You just got to go out there and be yourself and have some fun, and that's what we did.
It was a fun and riveting March for the Yale Bulldogs, who nearly missed out on making the dance altogether. They trailed by 6 in the final 30 seconds to Brown in the Ivy League championship before Poulakidas hit a leading 3 to bring it within 1. The Bulldogs would win it on a buzzer beater the next time down the courts, securing a spot in the NCAA tournament.
That 2-week span was just ridiculous. We were 30 seconds away from our season being over. And in the span of a minute, the game had completely flipped to our side. As a champion, as a winner, as a competitor, you work for those feelings and those moments, especially in college sports. I mean, there's nothing greater than winning the Ivy League championship and going to March Madness, let alone winning a game in March Madness.
Poulakidas, good footwork and the tough turnaround.
At every stage of his basketball career, Poulakidas has never seemed fazed, whether it's leading Yale to a March Madness upset or scoring a single-game record of 49 points for Neuqua Valley.
A lot of that just goes into the work I put in every single day. I would definitely say, in high school, I didn't work as hard as I thought I did. And I think every high school athlete can attest to this. I thought I was a little bit better than I actually was in high school. And it was a kind of a wake-up call when I got here.
Poulakidas did leave Neuqua as the program's all-time leading scorer, even with his senior season being limited to 10 games due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During his junior season at Neuqua, he helped the Wildcats to a regional title just days before the pandemic shut down the IHSA tournament. Poulakidas says that both his coaching and education at Neuqua have helped get him to where he is now.
But Coach Todd did such a great job of, like I said, holding me accountable because I think he saw my potential before I saw it in myself. And then also, academically, Neuqua was a great school. So I think that also put me in a great position to where I could, fit into a university like this fairly seamlessly.
This season has only just begun, and Poulakidas continues to impress on the courts. As of November 18th, he's averaging 20.4 points per game, third best in the conference. Poulakidas is majoring in political science and has thought about attending law school in the future. After he graduates in the spring, the Yale Bulldog will fully focus on turning pro.
Yeah, the NBA is definitely, it's been my biggest dream since I was a kid. I think after I graduate, that is definitely what I'll, continue trying to pursue, for sure, playing professional basketball.
For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
Local news is your lifeline. Let the Daily Herald help you navigate your world with solid reporting, good advice, and a much-needed diversion or two.
The 2024 state final is here for girls swimming. Area teams Neuqua Valley, Naperville Central, Waubonsie Valley, Metea Valley, Naperville North, and Bennett will compete at FMC Natatorium in Westmont among the state's best. The first individual event of the day is the 200 freestyle. Lucy Rooney of Bennett in Lane 2 is in the red cap. She qualified 6th with a time of 1:50.27. At the midpoint in the race, Rosary senior Becky Rentz is ahead, with Avery Ludke of St. Charles North behind. Rooney is still in the mix and 4th for the Red Wings. At the end, Rentz storms ahead of the pack to take first with a 1:45.73, 2/10 off the state record. Ludke comes in second, and Alyssa Alberton of O'Fallon is in third. Rooney ends up in 7th place for Bennett. Heading over to diving, here's Metea Valley's Bridget Anderson, whose reverse 1.5 somersault earns her 15th place in the state. From Waubonsie, it's Ella Bucknauer. Bucknauer performs an inward dive pike. The sophomore places 9th in state with a score of 445. Bucknauer's teammate Lucia Caruso also performs an inward dive. Caruso places 8th with 447.5 points with this dive. We go back to the swimming for the 100-yard butterfly, where Lauren Eschmeyer is Naperville Central's highest qualifying swimmer. On Friday, Eschmeyer qualified with a time of 56.33, earning her the 7th seed in the event. The swimmers make their way down with Isabel Bew of St. Charles North in first, with New Cheer's Zara Bolton behind. Bew wins by a second with a time of 53.22. Eschmeyer comes in 7th place with a time of 56.33 for Naperville Central. Waubonsie's Bella Plude placed 15th, and Natalie Sierzanowski placed 16th for Neuqua Valley. Our first relay action sees Neuqua compete with Rosary, New Trier, St. Charles North, Lyons, Stevenson, Edwardsville, and Maine South. Neuqua's fastest freestyle swimmer Sophia Labar kicks things off for the Wildcats in Lane 2. Carolina Piotr finishes her leg for Neuqua with the Wildcats still close by the leaders. Crystal Yu takes over, trailing Rosary's Paige Kowal and St. Charles North's Hayden Cruz in the lanes over. It's Kowal who is out in front for the defending champions, looking to break the IHSA record they set the day before. In the end, Sophia Piotr brings Neuqua to 5th place as Rosary, New Trier, and St. Charles North come 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Rosary sets an IHSA record of 1:31.69, beating their best time from the day before. In the 100 breaststroke, we get a look at the Naperville North Huskies top qualifier Tasha Mantell in Lane 2. Mantell gets off to a good start as she's neck and neck with Erica Ilakui of Deerfield in Lane 3. Elizabeth Naraki of Rosary and Brooke Corrigan of Rockford Christian lead the qualifiers as they go into the first turn. As the swimmers go into their last run, Naraki and Corrigan are tight to the finish line and end up 1-2 with times of 1:01.04 and 1:01.12 respectively. Mantell brings in 7th place in the state for the Huskies with a time of 1:03.60. Into the final 2 heats of the day, it's the 400-yard freestyle relay. Neuqua's team of Carolina and Sophia Piotr, Crystal Yu, and Emily Wu try to cap off a successful day for the Wildcats. They are in Lane 4 with a qualifying time of 3:29.74. Midway through the race, they were actually behind Loyola Academy by a body length before Sophia Piotr takes over. Piotr dives in, chasing Loyola and Maine South. On the turn, Piotr starts to close the gap. She passes Maine South in lane 3 and is in a tight race for 9th place in the state. Under the flags, they're tied, and it goes right down to the wire. The swimmers look up to the time board, and Neuqua win by 0.08 of a second with a 3:29.47. Neuqua end up in 8th place at state, their program's best placing since their win in 2019. And no area teams were in the final of the 400 free, but the top 3 teams at state, Rosary, New Trier, and St. Charles North, competed heavily in hopes of winning the last race of the day. St. Charles North's relay team is the state record holder, but all Rosary had to do is place to secure their win at state. And you can see the 3 teams all way ahead of the pack midway through the race. Here they come into the final stretch. St. Charles North win the race, but Rosary do enough to win their 2nd state title in a row. It's 1st for Rosary, 2nd for New Trier, and 3rd for St. Charles North. Neuqua placed top for all of the area teams with 8th place.
We're at Lyons Township for our boys' play of the week as Deshaun Williams and Naperville Central take on the Lions in the IHSA quarterfinals. On Central's opening drive, quarterback Sebastian Hayes drops back to pass and looks downfield to Williams. The senior receiver juggles the ball with one hand and reels it in while running into the end zone. It's a great catch and start to the game for the Redhawks. Let's take another look at the play. The Indiana State commit shows off his hands and concentration. Williams would also go on to score the next Redhawk touchdown.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO.
2 dealerships, side by side, identical in every way. What makes the difference? The experience. That's why more people choose Fair Oaks Lincoln. Incredible selection, knowledgeable salespeople, and a world-class experience you can't find anywhere else. Get 0% APR financing on most new Lincoln models this month at Fair Oaks Lincoln in Naperville, where the dealership experience makes the difference.
The bowling season is back with a brand new co-op made from Mattia Valley, Wabanzi Valley, and Neuqua Valley bowlers, taking on the Naperville North Huskies. The Huskies welcome the Valleys to the Fox Bowl in Wheaton for the first conference match of the season and first head-to-head duel in program history for the co-op. Starting off with Naperville North's Nathan Adams. Adams walks to a spot and throws it down the right side. His ball takes a spin to the left as he gets the early strike and starts his day with a 161 opening game. Up for the Valley is Andrew Lopez. His ball takes a perfect curve, avoiding the gutter as it rolls over the pins. The pins fall one by one as one of the scattering pins takes down the last pin standing for the strike. Husky Andy Sullivan walks up to his spot. The Husky puts a great spin on the ball, spinning back to the center to get the strike. In his first game, Sullivan gets a turkey in the final frame. Next up for the Valley is veteran bowler Ryan Lynch. Lynch is able to avoid the gutter as his ball spins towards the middle. Pin number 6 gets just enough of the 10th pin for the strike. Lynch with a strong first game of 179 and a 461 series to start the year. North's Anderson Karkainen sends one down the right side as his ball turns toward the middle, burying the ball into the pins for the strike. The Husky rolls a 178 in Game 2. Alex Larson is up for the Valley. Larson puts enough spin on the ball to send it down the middle for the strike. In Game 1, Larson records the high score for the Valley on the day with a 253, converting on 6 strikes in a row in his first 6 frames, a new record for the young program. Husky Max Alexandrov approaches his spot as it rolls quickly down the middle for the strike to give the senior a turkey and a 255 in Game 2. Alexandrov is the highest overall score for either team with a series of 633. Jacob Weber from the Valley starts off strong as his ball goes from right to left as it rolls down for a strike. He ends his day on a high note with a 197 in Game 3. After knocking down 8 pins, Nick Alexandrov is looking to pick up the spare by knocking down the split. The Husky sends the ball down the line as he sends the pin colliding into the corner pin to convert the spare. Back to the Valleys where Jerry Cicero sends his ball down the middle, knocking down the pins for a strike to help the cause. A 142 in Game 2 is his best round of the match. North's Nathan Mulligan keeps his ball down the middle, causing the pins to crash into each other, earning him a strike. Mulligan finds his footing in the third game with a 177. Junior Shane Ortega for the Valley sends his ball straight down the left side. Ortega gets enough power behind his attempt, delivering a strike. He ends the day well with a 179 in his third game and a 446 series. It's the first match in Valley history, as well as the first victory in program history, as the 204 Co-op takes the win by the score of 2,421, 2,363. Alex Larson leads the Valley with a 597 series, a competitive clash to start the boys' bowling season.
Naperville Central Boys Bowling, currently 2-0 on the young season, is back at home inside Lyle Lanes taking on non-conference opponent Plainfield North. Last year, the Redhawks defeated the Tigers by a margin of 112 pins. Early on, Central struggles to knock off the 10th pin, with seniors Nate Taverna and Tommy Creightonpoth picking up several spares during the first game. Freshman Blake Antman adds a spark with a strike of his own dead center in the pocket. Later on, he follows it up with more of the same. He ends with a 541 series. North mirrors Central's production with strikes from freshman Gatlin Dem and senior Luis Gonzalez. Gonzalez ends his day with a 584 series score after notching 5 strikes in a row during the second game. They've started to figure out the hardwood. Redhawk Aiden Lee tosses one with enough bite to cut in for another strike. Lee finishes with a 559 on the series. North's Ben Hamilton lightly places this one just left of center to knock down all 10 himself. Hamilton finishes behind Gonzalez with a series of 467. Taverna starts to heat up with a tight throw for a strike, and sophomore Ian Roddersman follows him up with a two-handed toss from the left for the same result. Taverna ends with a 613 series. Creightonpoth mirrors Roddersman with a toss slightly to the right. It's still good for all 10 pins. He ends his day with a series score of 626. Entering the third game by a margin just over 300 pins, Central's Spencer Pierpoint collects a first frame 1-pin spare. He carries the Redhawks the rest of the way, bowling 11 strikes in a row to close out the contest. Pins fall 10 at a time, and the senior celebrates with his teammates after logging a final of 290 and day best 649. Now 3-0, the Redhawks travel to the Lake Park Invitational at Stardust Bowl on Saturday.
This season, Bennett Academy girls volleyball reached its third straight state championship series, and this sequence from Brooklyn Bass in the Super Sectional helps them get there. Up 1-0 against New Trier, Bass and the Red Wings are looking to punch their spots to state. The Red Wing outside hitter first comes up with this great dig after a deflection off the Bennett blockers. Linny Tarnow earns the point to make it 7-2. On set and match point, Bass serves it in, and the next time around, Bennett works the ball to Bass from the back row. The Maryland commit arcs it right over the New Trier wall and down to the ground for the match winner. Bennett would move on to the state series for a 5th time in 6 seasons. That closes this week's episode of NSW and just about wraps up the fall sports season. Naperville Central football is our last fall team that's still competing, and we'll give you coverage from the semifinal next week, plus high school basketball makes its return. You can find all our highlights, feature stories, and community sports on nctv17.org. You can also find us on social media at NCTV17 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Naperville Sports Weekly, I'm Joe Kennedy.